bienvenidos a la Daily Hustle. Soy Enrique Byrnes, el presidente de esa mejor cerveza. No Abate Porno Filter Network. Miguelito San Dieguito, not with us today. Will the Thrill Clark, not with us today. But he is in the news. We'll get to that momentarily. Regardless, we come on here each and every single morning and we properly salute our boys and, well, each and every one of you. Yes, 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 yes. Woo! Remember this, folks. When we are juiceful, we are useful. And when we are juiceless, we are fucking useless. A very pleasant good morning to you on the 19th day of December 2024. The Daily Hustle electronic email communication went out just a short time ago. So let's get right into it. First and foremost, by the way, we are a life optimization podcast and we are sponsored by Bet Online, the number one online gambling destination. So for all the latest news, scores, odds, predictions, whatever else you could possibly dream of, it is there for you. Over 150 slot games and all sorts of other fun activities. You can go and explore the website, Bet Online HQ, I believe, and type in the promo code BELIEVE, capital B L E A V, to get 50% off your first deposit. All right, here we go. Buenos dias. Today is Thursday, December 19th, 2024, and we now have just 12 days left in 2024 and 6 days until Christmas and the start of Hanukkah. That said, if you haven't ordered your footboard, flip, your books, the place is here and the time is now if you want to get them in time to be the coolest aunt, uncle, mom, dad, sister, brother, daughter, son, or friend ever. Click below. That's ericbyrnes.com, EricByrnes.com to get all of the goodies. Daily Hustle quote of the day. You look a lot bigger on TV, Cody Bellinger. Daily Hustle translation. When I was playing for the D-backs, I hosted a barbecue at my house for the Chandler Little League World Series team that was coached by former big leaguer Clay Bellinger and featured Clay's 11-year-old kid, Cody. The boys took over the pool, ping pong table, and putting green while I flipped burgers and dogs. After a while, young Cody came to hang out around the barbecue and started the convo off with an infamous line I will never forget. Quote, "Are you really Eric Byrnes? You look a lot bigger on TV." Shortly after, I turned to Connor Jackson. It says something along the lines of, "This kid has the right mentality. He's going to make it." 17 years later, with an NL MVP, World Series title, and almost 200 career homers, it's safe to say the former Dodger and newest New York Yankee has officially made it. I knew that mentality, and I believed in the success rate that comes with it for one reason and one reason only. I had the exact same one. Whenever I would go to a Giants game as a kid, I would always head down to the field level before the game, and I had no interest in begging for baseballs or collecting autographs. I was there to size up my future competition and humanize these dudes that were where I wanted to eventually be. Bottom line, when we chase dreams, there's a process that brings those dreams closer to reality with each step. Much of that process is dominated by relentless physical work, but inevitably it is our belief that we can compete with absolutely anyone that will eventually make those dreams become real. EB. They put their pants on the same way. They take a shit the same way. That's it. They're fucking human. But I do think we all need to step back and realize, yeah, they're one of us. So although they may perform feats that we may look at times as inhumane, I don't even know if inhumane is the right word. I guess it would be like non-human, right? Just out of this world sort of talents. I will look at that and be like, yo, whoa. But then you go to understand the process that it took them to get there. And not only that, they sure have an immense ability and talent, and there's a mindset certainly that comes with it. But even playing Major League Baseball, I'm here, like standing here, a living testament of someone that had no special ends. I didn't have anybody in my family who played high school baseball, let alone college baseball, let alone professional baseball, let alone in the big leagues. So it's one of the messages I try to spread to all the LTP kids. Look, boys, this isn't up to me. This is up to you. It's up to the work you're willing to put in. And it's really, a lot of it is up to the mentality that you're going to adapt and you're going to apply to your daily lives. And part of that is understanding that I don't give a fuck who he is. I can compete with him. And having that is everything. Now, there's a process to get there, though. And there's little steps, kind of like Cody Bellinger did, in sizing up. I mean, here I was. I think I was 11th in NL MVP voting in 2007. So here's Cody Bellinger's like, this is it? This is all I got to grow up to be? And not only am I going to be just as good as he is, I'm going to be better. And sure enough, he was the 2019. So 12 years from that date, 12 years, he was the National League most valuable player. He was 11 years old, just a scrawny little kid doing backflips in the pool. Just super cool. So, all right, let's get into today's news topics. First and foremost, we got breaking news. Fired! San Francisco Giants executive Farhan Zaidi fires back at franchise legend Will the Thrill Clark. Yep, folks. Former San Francisco Giants executive Farhan Zaidi made one of his first public appearances since he was fired this week and took a joking shot at Giants franchise legend Will Clark in the process. Zaidi was a guest on the Foul Territory Daily YouTube show, and he took aim at one of Clark's criticisms of his tenure in the Giants front office. Host and one of the few truly revealed ex-Giants, AJ Pierzynski, specifically asked Zaidi about whether he had a hand in the starting lineups. He said, quote, "I think my reputation precedes me with that kind of thing," Zaidi said. You look around the game, front offices and managers, and there's a lot of interaction. There's a lot of exchange. I never made the lineup. I know Will Clark thinks I made the lineup. I love Will, but that just wasn't the case. Clark had originally discussed Zaidi's hand in the lineup on an October 3rd episode of his Deuces Wild podcast with Eric Byrnes. That came after a longtime San Francisco Chronicle baseball writer John Shea reported the lineup dictation. Okay, so Farhan fires back. I think the headlines were a little more aggressive than the actual statements. And what Farhan's saying is that he never wrote down a 1 through 9, this is what you have to play tonight. At least that's what he is saying. But he obviously made recommendations based on matchups, based on guys needing days off, based on guys getting called up from the minor leagues, and Farhan and the executive team wanted to see those guys get some run. So you could say that it was a fire back. I don't think so. I also think the language in which Farhan used was respectful. He said, regardless of what Will thinks, this wasn't the case, and I love Will type of thing. Look, I don't know if he does love Will. I don't know if Will loves him. I don't really care. I think the biggest issue with this is that there certainly was some disconnect as to how the lineup was made up last year, whether it was completely up to Melvin or there was a collaboration. And look, when there's a collaboration and you're winning 107 fucking games, yeah, no problem, right? That's a really good thing. And the collabs work. But guess what? When you're not winning 107 games and you're sitting in damn near last place in the NL West. The collab's not working. So you probably want to look for a different way to go about it. I do think even if I was in a front office, I certainly would have communication with the manager. And also, I would tell him, hey, look, ultimately, it's your call. This is your clubhouse. You know the intricacies of what's going on. Can we try to get such and such in there? I'd love to see such and such play this series. Hey, high leverage situation. Let's try to get such and such into the game. So, look, there's a lot that goes on when it comes to making these decisions. But ultimately, let's remember this. It is the manager's ass if they're not winning games on the fucking field. That's first and foremost. Then secondly, it goes to the general manager. So I do see how and why a general manager would want to have some sort of hand in that. But and good for our friends Scott Braun and AJ Eric Kratz for having Farhan on, and nice little shout out to Deuces Wild. I like that right there. Okay, a couple other stories, and I got to get out of here. I got a flight to catch. Kiki Hernandez. This was interesting. He says his F-bomb cost him money and almost a game during the Dodgers World Series run. So Kiki Hernandez says he was fined for dropping an F-bomb on live TV after the Dodgers defeated the San Diego Padres in Game 5 of the National League Division Series. He said it could have been worse. According to Hernandez, he was originally going to be suspended for a game. Instead of the free agent utility player said during a recent interview on The Shop, an intervention on his behalf allowed him to take part in all 6 NL Championship Series games against the New York Mets and all 5 World Series games against the New York Yankees as the Dodgers went on to claim their second championship in 5 years. I did get fined for that, Hernandez said, of the use of profanity October 11th broadcast on Fox. I was going to get a heftier fine, and I was going to get a game suspension. But having a good agent and having a good players union came in handy. You're damn right. They got rid of the suspension, and they got to lower down the fine a little bit, which is good. Major League Baseball and the Players Association and the Wasserman Agency, which represents Hernandez, did not respond for requests for comments. Hernandez was one of the heroes in the Dodgers series clinching win over the Padres, having hit a solo home run in the bottom of the second inning to start the scoring the eventual 2-0 victory. After the game, Hernandez was asked on air by Fox Sports' Ken Rosenthal, another friend of the program, what is the difference between this Dodgers team and previous ones? Hernandez paused and looked around for more than 5 seconds before asking, are we live? After Rosenthal confirmed the interview was being broadcast live, Hernandez immediately answered the question. The fact that we don't give a fuck. Hernandez, who then gave Rosenthal a toothy grin during a brief yet awkward pause. Rosenthal then thanked Hernandez and ended the interview. I thought it was fantastic. And he was right. They didn't give a fuck. That was the thing. They had just taken down the Padres. You had this team that had all this momentum and Machado and Tatis, and I get it. The Pods were what a lot of people said the other best team in the National League. But what I loved about the Dodgers this year is that they dealt with all this shit, whether it was Shohei Ohtani and Ippei at the beginning, right? And then you had Mookie Betts, and you had all kinds of injuries, and he's shortstop, he's in the outfield, and then Freddie Freeman and everything that he dealt with from a family perspective. There was just so many things going on with that Dodgers team. And then here's kind of this one standard dude that's sort of been through all of it with the Dodgers. And he's seen the difference between a Dodgers team that is scared and is like looking at all these expectations and, oh, I can't believe it. You know, I can't believe we lost, or we have to win a World Series, or we have to win another World Series. Like, he's like, fuck that. Look, we believe in our ability. We're a good baseball team. We're going to go out here. We're going to kick some fucking ass. And, oh, yeah, you know why we're going to win? Because we don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck if we lose. We don't give a fuck. And I say that in the sense that you can't be scared to fail. And if you fail putting your best foot forward, who cares? It doesn't matter. And so when Kike said that, that's how I understood it. I also understood it in the sense that we will overcome whatever we have to overcome. I don't give a fuck if the entire world is against us. We will embrace the villain role and it'll be us against the world. Now, what was so great about the Dodgers is that as much as people want to look at them as villains, they're just not. Freddie Freeman might be the nicest guy in Major League Baseball. Mookie Betts is right up there with him. Shohei, if you can't root for Shohei Ohtani, you're not a sports fan. Or at least you're not a good one. I mean, you got to be some kind of prick to look at Shohei Ohtani and be like, oh, I want to root against him. Like, no. Everything he does is fucking unbelievable. He is so fun to watch. And he has this innocent smile on his face. And I don't know, he just had like 20 million ripped off from him. He's like, oh, hey, Ipe, I'm sorry. It's all good. I mean, they're a really fun group to be able to get behind, but they're still the fucking Dodgers. And that's where shit gets a little, right? Because they're a hated franchise. So at least if you're not rooting for them in Los Angeles or the holdovers from Brooklyn. Joe, good morning to you, man. I got to run. Everyone have a fantastic day. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, go ahead and leave a review, 5 stars if you're feeling generous. And on that note, everyone probably be back with the Daily Hustle Monday is possible. I think Monday's the 23rd. So anyway, everyone have a fantastic weekend, safe weekend. And that's it. One last thing for everyone, though. See ya!